Hello students, welcome to BioSmart Academy. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is aquaporins and ionophores. Okay, and this topic is very important for examination point of view. Okay, this topic is very much important for CSI, NET, GATE and other all examination. Okay, so please watch this lecture till end. Okay, watch this lecture till end, and I just recommend you that please subscribe BioSmart Academy YouTube channel and share this YouTube channel as much as possible, because this BioSmart Academy YouTube channel provides you free online lecture strictly according to the CSI NET syllabus, and within the period of 6 months you will be in a position to crack any of this examination. Okay, you will be in a position to crack any of this examination. So please subscribe BioSmart Academy and share this BioSmart Academy YouTube channel to all those students who basically prepare for all this examination. Okay, now let's start today's lecture, that is aquaporins and ionophore. Okay, so before I start this lecture, I just want to make some concepts about the aquaporin clear. Okay, so that you, when I read PPT, you don't get any confusion. Okay, so let's start. See, in yesterday's lecture I already teach about the passive transport, that is two types, one is simple diffusion and one is facilitated diffusion. Okay, and in yesterday's lecture I discussed briefly about the facilitated diffusion, and I told you that facilitated diffusion basically mediated by two types of protein, one is carrier protein and one is channel protein. Okay, so you can say me that why you discuss these things, because aquaporin that we are going to discuss today. Okay, aquaporins that we are going to discuss today, that is AQP. Okay, aquaporins written as AQP, remember this. Okay, so aquaporins are nothing but it is a type of channel protein. Okay, but it is a type of channel proteins, it is a types of channel proteins. Okay, aquaporins are nothing but it is a type of channel protein. Clear? Okay, now one question is came in our mind, that it is a, if it is a type of channel protein, that what it transport. Okay, it transport, as its name suggests, aqua means what? Aqua means water. Okay, aqua means water. And porins, what do you mean by porins? Porins mean pores. Okay, porin means pores. It means that transport of water takes place through pores. That's why it is called aquaporins. Okay, means it basically majorly transport water. Okay, and apart from water it also transport glycerol and other small uncharged molecule. It also transport glycerol, okay, and other small uncharged molecule. Clear? Now you have got a clear idea about aquaporins. Okay, see, now another thing about aquaporins is that aquaporins, okay, AQP. Okay, another thing is that aquaporins are basically present in both plant and animal cell. Okay, remember this thing, present in both plant and animal cell. Okay, present in both plant and animal cells. Okay, aquaporins are present in both plant and animal cells. Clear? And basically these aquaporins contains, as I already discussed, specialized water channel, specialized water specialized water channel. Okay, through which it basically facilitate the transport of water, through which it basically facilitate the transport of water, glycerol and other small uncharged molecule. Okay, water, glycerol and other uncharged small molecule. Clear? So I think you have got a clear idea about aquaporins now. Okay, so this is all about aquaporins. Okay, and beside this, okay, I just want to mention another important point for aquaporins is that if you see the structure of aquaporins, okay, if you see the structure of aquaporins is basically a homotetramer. Okay, aquaporins are basically a homotetramer. Okay, homotetramer means what? Homotetramer means that it basically consists of same type of four structures. Okay, same type of monomers. Okay, it consists of four monomer which is of same type. Okay, same type, that is homo means same, as you know. Okay, homo means same, and tetramer means four monomers. Tetramer means four monomers. Clear? Okay. Homo means what? Homo means same. And tetramer means what? Tetramer means that it is made up of four monomers. Okay, that it is made up of four monomers. Okay, so aquaporins is what? Aquaporins are basically a homotetramer. Okay, aquaporins are basically a homotetramer. Homo means same, and tetramer means made up of four monomers. Okay, made up of four monomers. Clear? Made up of four monomers. Now let's look at this. Now made up of four monomers. Okay, made up of four monomers. Okay, now we write this monomer. Okay, made up of how many monomers? That is four monomers. Okay, sorry, I just use red color. Okay, made up of four monomers. Okay, made up of four monomers. Okay, clear? Now, and each monomer, okay, and each monomer consists of six membrane spanning alpha helical domain. Okay, and each monomer consists of six membrane alpha helical domain. Okay, and each monomer consists of six spanning alpha helical domain. Six spanning alpha helical domain. Okay, six spanning alpha helical domain. Six spanning alpha helical domain. So now you have got a clear idea about the aquaporins. Okay, now you have got a clear idea about the aquaporins. Okay, so aquaporins are water channel protein that present in both plant and animal cell that transport water. Okay, it basically made up of homotetramer, that is same type of four monomers. Okay, four monomers, and each monomer consists of six membrane spanning alpha helical domain. Okay, and through this alpha helical domain it basically transport water, small uncharged molecule, and other glycerol, etc. Clear? Now let's read the PPT of aquaporins. Okay, and if you have any doubt, then please comment me on the comment box. Okay, see, as I already mentioned, that aquaporins are basically large family of highly conserved protein, that transport water, glycerol, and other hydrophilic molecule across biomembrane. Okay, so aquaporin is what? Is highly conserved protein, that present in both plant and animal. Okay, that present in both plant and animal, as I already mentioned you in the figures, as I already explain you. Okay, and it basically transport what? Water, glycerol, and other hydrophilic molecule. Okay, another hydrophilic molecule. So if a question has been asked that which one of the following proteins are transport water, and if there is aquaporin is there in the option, then the answer will be aquaporins. Okay, now as I already mentioned, that aquaporins are tetramer of four identical subunit. Okay, tetramer of four identical subunit means homotetramer, as the subunits are identical. That's why, see, aquaporins are tetramer means four monomers are there, and identical subunit, four identical subunit. Okay, it means homo means identical subunit means what? Homo, that is homotetramer. Okay, and each four subunit has six membrane alpha helical domain. Each four subunits have six spanning domain. Okay, alpha helixes is there. Okay, as I already mentioned. Now each monomer in aquaporin function as independent pore. Okay, each monomer function as independent pore. Okay, each monomer function as independent pore in case of aquaporins. Okay, each monomer function as independent pore. Clear? And the most important point is that question may be asked from this point, that there are two hydrophobic loops that contains a conserved NPA domain. What is NPA? N is for asparagine, P is for proline, and A is for alanine. Okay, so question may be asked from this point, that what is the sequence which is present in the aquaporins, Okay, so the sequence is NPA sequence that is present in the aquaporins. That is, N is for asparagine, P is for proline, and A is for alanine. Okay, so NPA sequence is basically present in aquaporins, and where it is present, it is basically a conserved sequence, which is basically contained in the two hydrophobic loops, and it basically a motif for the selectivity of the channel. Okay, for the selectivity of the channel. Okay, now you have got a clear idea about the aquaporins. Okay, Next, see the permeability of the epithelial cell. Okay, now one major function of aquaporin is that it basically regulate the water retention. Okay, regulate the water retention. Okay, regulate the water retention by in the basically collecting duct, renal collecting duct. Okay, let's read the PPT. The permeability of epithelial cell that lining the renal collecting duct. Okay, the epithelial cells are there that basically lining the renal collecting duct in kidney is the permeability occur due to the presence of aquaporin 2. Okay, so question may be asked from this part as well also, that that what type of aquaporin basically lining the renal collecting duct in kidney. So the answer will be aquaporin 2. Okay, answer will be aquaporin 2. It means aquaporin 2 is basically present in kidney. Okay, that is in the renal collecting duct epithelial cells. Okay, now ADH is, we all know that, antidiuretic hormone. Okay, antidiuretic hormone basically it regulate the retention of water. Is basically regulate the retention of water. Okay, ADH basically regulate the retention of water. Okay, and how it retain the water? How it retain the water? It basically retain the water by mobilizing aquaporin 2 molecule. By mobilizing aquaporin 2 molecule, which are basically stored in vesicles membrane within the epithelial cells. Okay, it means there are epithelial cells. It means there are epithelial cells. There are epithelial cells. Okay, there are epithelial cells. There are epithelial cells. Okay, it means there are epithelial cells that lining the renal duct. Okay, that lining the what? That lining the renal duct in kidney, and in the epithelial cells the aquaporin 2 are stored. Aquaporin 2 are stored. Okay, so ADH basically mobilize this aquaporin 2. Okay, ADH basically mobilizing this aquaporin 2. Okay, what is ADH? ADH is antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone. Okay, it basically mobilize this aquaporin 2, and by mobilization process it helps in water retention. It helps in water retention. Clear? Next, another important point, that when the vesicle fuse, water permeability increases and more water is reabsorbed from the collecting duct and return to blood. Okay, and when the ADH level drops, aquaporin 2 is resequestered within the vesicle and reducing water retention. So this is the function that basically aquaporin 2 and ADH do in the renal duct of kidney. Okay, see, I just make you clear another time so that you don't have any confusion. Okay, see, in the epithelial cells of the kidney. Okay, in the epithelial cells of the kidney, in the epithelial cells of renal duct. Okay, in the epithelial cells of renal duct. Okay, renal duct, in the epithelial cells of renal duct. Okay, what is present in the epithelial cells? Basically aquaporin 2. Basically aquaporin 2 are stored. Basically aquaporin 2 are stored in where? Aquaporin 2 are stored in basically vesicle. Okay, stored, aquaporin 2 is stored in vesicle. Okay, aquaporin 2 is stored in vesicle. Okay, and when there is a need of water retention, then ADH hormone, that is antidiuretic hormone, that is present there. This ADH hormone basically mobilize aquaporin 2. Okay, basically what? Mobilize aquaporin 2. Okay, basically mobilize aquaporin 2. Okay, mobilize this aquaporin 2. Okay, mobilize this aquaporin 2. Okay, mobilize this aquaporin 2 that are basically stored in vesicle. Mobilize this aquaporin 2 that are basically stored in vesicle, and when it mobilizes, it basically increases the water retention capacity. Okay, and in other words, if we say that this antidiuretic hormone will not work, then aquaporin 2 will also not work, then water retention capacity will decrease. Clear? So this is all about the aquaporin 2 function. Okay, the aquaporin 2 function. Okay, that is when ADH level is drop. Aquaporin 2 also resequestered within the vesicle, and it reduces the water retention capacity. Okay, so till now I feel that you have get a clear idea about aquaporins, what are its function, and what is the main function of aquaporin 2 in the kidney, how it helps in the retention of water. Okay, how it helps in the retention of water by the help of ADH hormone. Okay, and if what happen if ADH is dropped down, what happens in the water retention capacity. Okay, all these things now you have got a clear idea. Okay, question may be asked from all these things. Okay, so please note it down. Now another important thing is about the aquaporin 0. Okay, aquaporin 0 is the most abundant protein, please remember. So if a question may be asked that which one of the following aquaporin is the most abundant, so aquaporin 0 is the most abundant protein which is present in the plasma membrane of the fiber cell that make up the bulk of lens of the mammalian eye. Okay, aquaporin 0 is the aquaporin 0. Okay, aquaporin 0, aquaporin 0, aquaporin 0. Okay, aquaporin 0 is the most abundant protein in the plasma membrane of the fiber cells that make up the bulk of the lens of mammalian eye. Okay, that make up the bulk of the lens of the mammalian eye. Okay, clear. Aquaporin 3 basically transport glycerol, remember this one, and aquaporin 1 basically present in erythrocyte. Okay, so please remember this, that 3 is transport glycerol and aquaporin 1 is basically present in erythrocyte. Okay, so this is all about aquaporins. Okay, I teach you. I think now that you have got a clear idea about the aquaporins, and if a question may be asked in the examination, you can answer it. Okay, and if you still have any doubt, then please comment me on the comment box. Okay, now next move to the next section, that is ionophores. Okay, what is ionophore? See, first I want to make you clear that about the ionophore. Okay, see about the ionophore. So what are the ionophores? Okay, what are ionophores? Question may be asked from this part as well. Okay, see, iono means what? Iono means ions, as the name suggests. Okay, and phore means what? That is something that carry this ion. Okay, that is something that carry this ion. Okay, so this is about ionophores. This is about ionophores, means something this that is carry these ions by any process, that are known as ionophore. Okay, see, first of all I want to make you clear some important things about the ionophore. Okay, and that can be easily discussed with the help of this PPT. Okay, see, ionophores are nothing but a small hydrophilic lipid small hydrophobic lipid soluble molecule. Okay, that basically dissolve in the lipid bilayer. Okay, so ionophore basically, see, if you basically notice that if this is a lipid bilayer. Okay, if this is a lipid bilayer, if this is a lipid bilayer. Okay, if this is the lipid bilayer, if this is the lipid bilayer, so what does ionophore do? So basically ionophores are basically dissolve here, as ionophore are what? Ionophores are basically hydrophobic molecule, hydrophobic lipid soluble molecule. Ionophores are hydrophobic lipid soluble molecule. Okay, ionophores are basically hydrophobic lipid soluble molecules. So basically ionophores are basically soluble here, and when it soluble here, it basically increase the permeability of the specific inorganic ions. Okay, it increase the permeability of the inorganic ions. Okay, so that inorganic ions can easily transported. Okay, inorganic ions can easily transported. Clear? So this is about the ionophore. Okay, that is, these are basically small hydrophobic lipid soluble molecule that dissolve in the lipid bilayer, and it increases the permeability to specific inorganic ions. Clear? And how it basically helps in permeability, of inorganic ions? See, ionophore basically shield means what? Shield means, you can say, cover, or it means shield means cover. Okay, cover. It shield the charge that is present on the ion that are need to be transported, and enabling it to penetrate the hydrophobic interior of the lipid bilayer. Okay, so basically ionophore are, note it down, ionophore are lipid soluble molecule, hydrophobic lipid soluble molecule that dissolved in the lipid bilayer, and it increases the permeability of other specific inorganic ions. It increases the permeability of other specific inorganic ions. Clear? And it, how it increases the permeability? It basically shield the charge of the ion, that need to be transported, and it enabling it to penetrate the hydrophobic interior of the lipid bilayer. Clear? Now, there are two classes of ionophore. One is mobile ion carriers and one is channel former. Okay, there are two classes. Ionophore are two types. Okay, ionophores are basically two types, and by these two way it basically transport the molecule. Okay, one is mobile ion carrier. Okay, one is mobile ion carrier. Okay, mobile ion carrier. Okay, mobile ion carrier, that it is basically carry the molecule, and one is channel former, that is it forms a channel. Okay, so in case of mobile ion carriers, please note it down that it basically move within the bilayer. Okay, it basically move within the bilayer. Okay, and in case of channel former, it basically span the lipid bilayer. Okay, with the help of the channel that it forms. Okay, you will get a clear idea by if you look at this diagram. Okay, so this is the example of mobile ion carrier. Like this, it basically carry this molecule from here, from exterior to lipid bilayer and to other side of the bilayer. So in this way it is helps in transport the molecule. So this is the example of mobile ion carrier, and this is the channel former. Okay, this is the channel former. Okay, that it forms a channel, and through this channel it basically transport the molecule. Okay, and through this channel it basically transport the molecule, while in case of mobile ion carrier it forms a carrier molecule where it but basically bind to the particular molecule and it carry to the other side of the bilayer. Okay, so now I think you got a clear idea about the ionophores, about the types of ionophores. Clear? Now look at this important thing from where question may be asked. Okay, now give an example of mobile ion carrier. Okay, so an example of mobile ion carrier is valinomycin. Okay, what does it do? Valinomycin basically transport potassium ion. Clear? Now give an example of mobile ion carrier with transport sodium ion. Example momensin. Okay, so valinomycin transport potassium ion, and momensin transport sodium ion. Okay, so these are the example of the mobile ion carrier. Okay, and valinomycin are isolated from Streptomyces fulvicimus bacteria. Okay, Streptomyces fulvicimus bacteria. Clear? Now example of channel former. Okay, channel former, that is gramicidin A. Gramicidin A is a basically channel former. It basically permit the passage of water and univalent cation, but it never allow to transport anions. Okay, it always transport water and cations only, and never transport anion. So gramicidin A is an example of channel former. Okay, and it is extracted from Bacillus brevis bacteria. Okay, and it has a 15 residue peptide with alternating L amino acid. Okay, so basically gramicidin A basically forms a channel, and through that channel water and other cations are basically transported, while anions are not transported. Okay, and gramicidin A is basically extracted from Bacillus brevis. So students, that's all for today's lecture. I think you like this lecture. If you like it, please hit the like button, and if you have any problem, any doubt, then please comment me freely. Okay, and please share this channel, as Biosmart Academy provides you free online lectures strictly according to the CSI NET syllabus. Okay, from tomorrow we were going to discuss about the active transport. Okay, active transport. Okay, that is another type of transport. Okay, and till then, thank you.